Over the skies of New York, a strange man suddenly appears. He's drenched in head-to-toe black. Just then, a helicopter comes roaring in. The SWAT officers on board raise their guns and open fire on him. But the black-cloaked figure, he doesn't even bother moving. Why? The bullets hit him like nothing more than a light scratch. Completely useless. With a wave of his hand from a distance, the two SWAT officers disintegrate into nothing, erased from existence entirely. Unmanned, the helicopter slams straight into a 328-foot-tall elevator shaft, smashing the adjacent skyscraper to pieces. Debris rains down with a clatter, crashing toward the terrified pedestrians below. A little girl stands frozen, her legs too weak to move. A huge chunk of debris is about to crush her. In the blink of an eye, a man in red bolts over, snatches her up, and uses his own body to shield her from the stone. The girl starts to smile, but in the next second, she too dissolves into nothingness. And then, bit by bit, all of New York grows dark, slowly swallowed away. This is Marvel's new superhero, the Dark Sentry. Word is, his power level is off the charts in the Marvel universe. He can unleash solar level energy and has top tier telepathic abilities. Ever since Black Widow sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone, her sister Yolena has been like a mindless puppet. She does whatever she's told, no thoughts of her own. She leaps off a 656-foot rooftop, yanks open her parachute with a whoosh just before hitting the ground, and lands on a mid-level floor of a building. She crouches in a corner, then lunges from behind with a sudden strike, knocking someone out cold with one punch. She slips into the building. In the pitch black hallway, she takes down a group of enemies in seconds, finally reaching a research lab. She can't get into the crucial lab. No facial recognition. Bored, she's idly talking to a caged guinea pig when a doctor pops out from the side, holding a gun. Yolena thinks maybe his face can open the door. She lunges at the doctor, but he's ruthless. Bang! He shoots himself in the head, blowing his face to pieces. Yolena figures, the mission was to destroy the data anyway. Might as well blow up the whole lab. Yelena's boss, Valentina Allegra, is publicly the head of the CIA, but secretly runs the Sentinel program, using super soldier serum to turn ordinary people into superhumans. But the program comes with a cost: lives. Congress is furious, wanting to fire her. To keep her job, Valentina sends Yelena to destroy the experiment data. But one of her agents also knows about the program, so she orders Yelena to hit a secret base and eliminate the last witness. Yelena steps into the base, only to be stopped by a guy who looks uncannily like Captain America. He calls himself US Agent. Yelena asks, "Why are you attacking me?" He just says, "You're my target." He's about to strike again when, wham, he goes flying, kicked by someone off screen. Yelena turns. It's Taskmaster, the combat mimic who copies opponents' fighting styles. She thinks he's here to kill her too, but Taskmaster spins around and lunges at US Agent instead. Suddenly, the target Yelena's after finally shows up, Ghost. And get this, he can turn invisible, phase through objects, and teleport. Once a top shield assassin, Ghost zooms over with a teleport, punching Taskmaster flying. Yelena's completely confused. Why does everyone have their own target anyway? At this moment, the four are caught in a scuffle. Suddenly, a man in a prison uniform stumbles out from the side. Seeing guns all over the room, he's so scared he turns and bolts for the exit. But after just 2 steps, all the exit doors slam shut, blocking the way completely. Yelena finally figures it out. So we're all Valentina's people. Just because we know about the Sentinel program, she's making us kill each other. The prisoner scratches his head and says, "I'm Bob." No idea what's going on. Woke up here. Meanwhile, Valentina's at a reception, cozying up to people, trying to get them to put in a good word to save her job. Her assistant leans over. Yelena and the others are trapped inside. Valentina flicks her eyes up and immediately orders the incineration system activated. The Winter Soldier's at the reception too. He's a congressman now. To find proof of Valentina's crimes, he secretly turned to her assistant, saying that if she finds the experiment data, he'll let her take Valentina's position. Yelena and the others have only 2 minutes left to escape. US Agent swings his shield and smashes the noise system. Ghost phases through the gravity door, hits the switch, and gets everyone out. But no sooner do they step out than, boom, an explosion erupts. Yelena's knocked unconscious. After the reception ends, Valentina hurries to check the base's surveillance. Seeing Yelena and the others are still alive, she's so angry she nearly faints. But she soon notices Bob, the unfamiliar face, and asks her assistant, "Who's this?" The assistant replies, "Just a failed experiment, but Bob's perfectly alive." Valentina's eyes suddenly light up. "Could my Sentinel program have worked?" She immediately sends someone to grab Bob. Every word of this is overheard by a chubby driver nearby. Yolena and the others are safe for now, but they can't find an exit. US agent slams a fist into a stone pillar, crack, and somehow smashes open an elevator shaft. The four stand back to back, holding hands, inching their feet along the wall. It takes nearly 2 hours to reach the exit. As soon as they open the door, they see Valentina's men blocking the main gate tight. Yolena throws a bomb, bang, drawing the enemy's attention. US agent takes the chance to rush forward and start fighting. Ghost zooms off, teleporting to find a car. Yolena helps Bob, who can barely walk, backing them up from behind. Things are going smoothly until Bob accidentally takes a bullet to the leg. They strip the enemies of their clothes, put them on, prop Bob up, and swagger right past Valentina, slipping out. Ghost drives over to pick them up. Just as they're about to exit the gate, guards stop them. IDs! US agents about to pull his gun and force their way through when suddenly, bang bang, gunshots ring out from behind. It's Bob, limping back, picking up a gun and firing wildly, trying to help them escape. They didn't abandon him when he got hurt, and now he wants to return the favor. Dozens of guns immediately open fire on Bob, rat-a-tat-tat, turning him into a sieve in an instant. Watching on the monitor, Valentina shouts in panic, "Stop! That's my first successful test subject." Yolena stares at the scene, her heart heavy, but there's nothing to do. They have to run, or Bob died for nothing. Bob, who should have been dead, shoots up with a whoosh. He even starts floating slowly, then whooshes into the sky. Yolena and the others stare, dumbfounded. Bob flies up to 90,000 feet, then zooms back down toward the ground. Boom! Smashing into a mountain. The shockwave blows the secret base to bits. Lucky for Yolena and the others, they'd already run far away, but they have no map. Wandering the desert all night, they still can't get out. Just as they're worrying, Yolena spots a car approaching in the distance. Her face pales in an instant. "Get down! Cover your faces!" she shouts, like she's seen some man-eating monster. The car skids to a stop with a screech. A man in red gets out and yells at the top of his lungs, "Yolena, don't go into the base! Valentina wants to burn you alive." It's her dad, the chubby driver from before. He'd taken a high-quality knockoff super soldier serum, a Soviet version of Captain America, known as the Red Guardian. They aren't real father and daughter though. Back in the day, the Guardian pretended to be her family to carry out a secret mission. When Yolena found out the truth, she hated the fake affection. She'd been avoiding him ever since. But before they can say more, US agent shouts from behind, "Pursuers are here." The Guardian takes a bottle of vodka, glugs down a sip, and somehow turns it into a Molotov cocktail, hurling it at the pursuers. He's grinning triumphantly when, rat-a-tat-tat, the other side unloads with a machine gun. US agent holds up his shield to block the fire. Barely. Yolena leans out the car window and fires at the pursuers. To her shock, a single bullet blows an armored car onto its side. She pauses. Whoa, this gun's that powerful. Soon, a second armored car blows up. Yolena realizes it's not the gun, it's the Winter Soldier, riding a motorcycle and shouldering a rocket launcher, backing them up from behind. The Guardian claps and shouts, "We made it!" No sooner does he finish than the Winter Soldier booms a rocket, flipping their car over. He ties up the four of them. Meanwhile, Valentina takes Bob to Avengers Tower. When Bob wakes, Valentina says, "Stick with me, and I'll keep you fed and happy. You'll be a real superhero." Yolena and the others sit tied up, confused, until Valentina's assistant calls to talk about Bob. That's when the Winter Soldier figures it out. He decides he can't let Valentina use Bob to consolidate her power, so he teams up with these four hotheads to take her down. Rebelling against evil needs a bold name. Yolena slams a fist into her palm. "Let's call ourselves the Thunderbolts." By now, under Valentina's guidance, Bob has learned to use his powers. Bob picks up a cup, heats it until it bubbles, then squeezes it to pieces. His eyes turn gold. He's tasting what it's like to be strong. The Thunderbolts break into Avengers Tower soon after. Valentina's men move to block them, but go down in seconds. Too easy. Turns out Valentina ordered them to hold back, waiting for the group to reach the top floor. They burst into the top floor. Valentina sees them unfazed, hands on hips. "Today's your last day." The Winter Soldier doesn't waste words, reaches to grab her, but his hand freezes mid-air. A man in golden armor walks down the stairs. Bob. Valentina points to him. This is the Sentry. Bulletproof, missile-proof, fireproof. A wave of his hand destroys things. Stronger than the entire Avengers. Soon, he'll be Earth's greatest hero, she shouts. Kill them all! But Bob shakes his head. I won't hurt them. You should surrender. The Guardian snaps. Who are you calling a golden-haired kid, punk? He charges, but Bob punches him flying through a wall. The Thunderbolts rush in together, but Bob's powers are terrifying. He lifts his arm and all bullets bounce right back, swings both hands, and a strong wind blows everyone flying, opens his palm, and incoming bullets freeze mid-air. Red Guardian circles behind, stabbing hard with a dagger, but the dagger snaps clean in two. Bob's clothes aren't even torn. What's more infuriating, they jump around him for ages, and he doesn't move a single foot. Then, he waves a hand. Red Guardian smashes through the glass and flies out. He flicks a finger, sucking him back like a toy. He crumples US Agent's shield into a shell. The Winter Soldier's vibranium arm nearly melts from his hot breath. Wonder if he could lift Thor's hammer though. Before long, they can't fight anymore. Hurry into an elevator to escape. Live to fight another day. Bob doesn't chase. After all, they saved him before, but his softness makes Valentina furious. Bob's the overpowered Sentry, but Valentina screams insults. You're my dog! Do what I say! Bob snaps. I'm this strong. Why listen to an old hag? He grabs Valentina by the throat, slamming her against the wall. You want to betray me too? Just as Valentina's about to pass out, the assistant hits a controller. Thud. Bob collapses. But once they leave, Bob's body slowly turns black, shifting into his corrupted form. The Thunderbolts rush out of the tower, seeing people in the street staring up at the sky. They look up too. Bob's become the Dark Sentry. Valentina orders her men to shoot, but bullets bounce right off him. Bob waves at them and they vanish into thin air. An out-of-control helicopter smashes into an elevator shaft, which scrapes both buildings as it falls. Debris rains down like hail. Pedestrians scream and run for their lives. A big slab crashes toward a woman. US Agent dives to block it, but he's no Hulk, not strong enough. Teammates rush to help. Even regular folks can pull off miracles. People on the street watch, clapping wildly. Keep in mind, most of this team were villains in superhero stories. Now, they realize being good feels pretty great. But before they can acknowledge the claps, a third boulder comes crashing down. A girl stands frozen, legs weak. Huge debris hurtles toward her. Red Guardian dives to shield her. The girl starts to smile, then Bob erases her in an instant. Then, people on the road vanish one by one, followed by the street, the cars. The team yells for people to hide in buildings, but it's useless. Houses, streets, the whole city slowly fades into nothingness. Yolena watches, then makes a strange choice, walks into the darkness herself. Red Guardian cries on the spot. Teammates yank him away, but where can they hide? New York goes completely dark soon. Next, the whole Earth. After the darkness swallows Yolena, she doesn't vanish, ends up in a weird place, the void. Because Bob has telepathic powers, he easily peeks into everyone's deepest pain. She sees herself back in the Red Room, killing a friend to survive. Yolena covers her eyes, runs to shield her friend, but the friend suddenly trips her, sending her flying into a tree. Branches wrap around her like hands, pinning her tight. Yolena realizes, this place is using my past to trap me. She turns and runs the other way. Suddenly, sees Bob's reflection in a mirror. She grabs a gun from the table. Bang! Smashes the mirror, and there's Bob for real. Yolena tells Bob to stop. Quick, the world outside is almost gone for good. Bob shakes his head. I'm not doing this. It's my dark side. He shows Yolena his past. As a kid, his dad beat him non-stop. His mom went crazy over it. No one looked out for him. When he grew up, he got depressed, lied a lot, then got hooked on drugs, drifting through Southeast Asia. His life was a total mess. So when he got superpowers, his mind split in two. One, the good Sentry, the other, the evil Void. Valentina's taunts pushed him over the edge. He lost control, and the Void took over, wrecking the world. The Bob in this Void realm, he's the real main personality. Too bad he's trapped here. Yolena takes his hand. Don't bottle it up. Don't carry this alone. Let it all out. Shout. As soon as she says it, the place starts shaking. Tables and chairs fly through the air, hitting them. Yolena gets sucked up to the ceiling, like she's about to be swallowed. The Void must have sensed someone trying to drive it out. It's fighting back. Bob reaches for Yolena, but both get choked by curtains. They're seconds from suffocating. Then, suddenly, the team bursts in and frees them. Red Guardian had been worried sick about his daughter, so he led everyone into this realm. They figured, if we don't take down that evil thing, hiding won't help. Might as well fight. Now the problem, how to get out of this dump. Bob says, there are endless rooms. This one's not the worst. Yelena's eyes light up. If there's a best, there must be a worst. Maybe that's the exit. The team fights their way through, finally reaching the worst room in the void. It's the lab Yolena blew up earlier. Turns out, this is where the void was born. A hunched figure sits on the operating table, the void. He looks so lonely, so pitiful. Beat him and they're free. The void waves a hand, binding the Thunderbolts. Only Bob stands alone. The void sneers, "You really think they care? They're just using you to escape." Bob glances at Yolena, choking, and fire surges in him. "Leave her alone," he shouts at the void. The void slams a hand. All the lab's glass shatters, shards flying everywhere. "I'm 100 times stronger than you. Who are you to order me?" Bob charges, fists flying, eyes red, but he's never fought in his life. No match for the void. He gets taken down in seconds. The void plants a foot on his chest. "Savior? You can't even save yourself. We're meant to be alone. Who'd ever care about us?" Bob lies there, staring at his friends, who'd risked everything to save him. Suddenly, he gets it. "I'm not alone." Bob lunges at the void, throwing punches fueled by rage. But as he fights, his body slowly turns black. The void had intentionally goaded him into anger, trying to make the timid Bob just like itself, unattached, invincible. Only by assimilating Bob could the void fully control this body. As the darkness spreads, Red Guardian strains to pry apart the operating table, yelling at Yolena, "Save him!" Yolena clings to Bob from behind, repeating over and over, "I'm here, you're not alone." The other team members, seeing this, summon all their strength to break free. One by one, they rush to hug Bob. Together, they force the black mist back. In a flash, they're back in the real world. New York slowly returns to normal, and the vanished people reappear. Bob finally defeats the demon in his mind. They're about to celebrate when they spot Valentina standing nearby, watching. The team remembers. The mastermind is still at large. They start walking toward her. Valentina panics and runs, ducking behind a tattered curtain. The Thunderbolts follow to find a horde of reporters. Cameras flashing, click, click. Valentina instantly puts on a smile, shouting to the lenses, "Look, these are my handpicked new Avengers. They'll protect the world, restoring the glory of superheroes." The Thunderbolts stand stunned. Valentina was shrewd. This trick would not only save her life, but let her reclaim prestige under the new Avengers name. But netizens aren't buying it, saying they're no match for the original Avengers. To avoid the backlash, the team simply renames themselves Avengers. Later, they discover the first alien spaceship. The logo on its hull, it's the Fantastic Fours, a sign that the Fantastic Four have achieved multiversal travel, soon to enter Marvel's 616 main universe. This film is Thunderbolts, Marvel's latest superhero movie of 2025. If you liked this video, remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.